Hey, what's up, inspired ones? Welcome back to my channel. All right, so we are on our final episode of the series, What Does God Know About Me? We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So just a little recap. We started this What Does God Know About Me talking about Noah because he was selected to build the ark and to carry humanity over into what God wanted to do over. Something new that God wanted to start over, right? So God got rid of all humanity except Noah and his family. He kept them with amongst some animals, one of each, male, female, and they repopulated the earth. So fast forward, the flood is over, the ark has been placed on dry ground, and we're ready to start populating the earth. Now, if you need to be caught up to speed, go ahead and click my something on here. I'll put the first video on here, but I do have a playlist. I'm going to include a video either right here or it's going to be right here, but I'm going to include it so you can see the first episode of What Does God Know About Me series. And then you can be caught up to speed by the time you get to here. Anywho, if you're new here, my name is Tangi, and I lead faith-based topics here. I'm also a mixed fit instructor. That is a dance fitness program. It includes body weight toning and explosive dance movements that are exclusive only to mixed fit. But on a serious note, I also have makeup tutorials and other strength training videos if you're trying to get fit or get your body in shape, be stronger. I'm the page for you. And I will be adding other content on there as well, but that's what I do so far. So if that sounds like it's something that you would like to invest in or put your time into and hang out with me, learn some stuff, go ahead, subscribe, and share it. And tell your like cousins and brothers and sisters or whatnot. But anywho, let's get into this. So we're in Genesis chapter 9. And at this point, Noah has he started farming, and he started a vineyard, and now he is getting drunk off of his wine. Okay. And Ham, which is one of his sons, he saw him naked. Now, during this time, as I have researched, it was shameful for you to see your father naked. It brought shame to the family. It was not something that it wasn't something that was popular. It was an offensive act. The father's spiritual and moral head would be held in disrepute, and the family would suffer serious consequences from this. So that was around that time. So what Ham did, he told Shem, I had to think about his name, Shem and Japheth, which is his two brothers. Shem and Japheth, they went to go cover Noah, but they turned their back to him. So how they approached him, they put a blanket on their shoulders and they walked backwards towards him and laid the blanket on him. They never saw him naked. And this was thought to be, or how theologists explained, or their theory, their idea was, this was to cover Noah's shame. So by Ham telling Japheth and Shem, that was considered him exposing the shame. Japheth and Shem, how they covered him, it was concealing the shame. Okay? That's very important. Keep that in thought. Now, there's a couple of theories as to why Ham went and told his brothers. One of them is, supposedly, Ham wanted to take Noah's spot as being the head of the family. Once Noah got word, or once he knew what happened, he cursed his son. He cursed Ham's son, Canaan. And he cursed him by being the servant of servants. This is in Genesis 9:25 through 27. And I wanted to get on this topic of sometimes the things that we do, we don't get the curse for it. We don't get the consequences. Sometimes it falls on our children or our children's children. And I feel like we all need to look in our heart and the intentions of our heart and see why are we spreading someone's shame? What does God know about us also, to where he allows us to be tested in areas right? He allows us to be tested in areas to see if we're going to either start a curse or can we pick up the promise. Are we going to be cursed or fulfill a promise? And I want you to keep that in mind, because it's very important for us to always examine our heart, because that's what God is going to go after. He's going to seek our hearts. He's going to see why we did what we did. Now, he knows us. He knows us in and out. God knows. That's why he allows us to be put in certain predicaments, because he knows we're either going to pass or fail. But if we don't pass the test, we have such a generous God and loving God that it will come around again. When will it come around again? But it does happen again. You will get that cycle again, but you will have to first fulfill the consequences of what you have done, and then it'll circle back. It'll be like a full circle if you're lucky enough, which a lot of us are. A lot of us are in full circle moments, or we repeat cycles and don't even know it. For example, have you ever just found yourself in a situation that you just got yourself out of, and you're like, why is this happening to me again? 9 times out of 10, you didn't do what God told you to do, how he said do it. But back to what does God know about me? And also, one of the things I wrote down was a scripture from James chapter 1:19. Be slow to speak and quick to listen. Listen, process it, understand it before you start responding, because once that response is out, you can't reel it back in. It's out there, and you're going to have to sit in those consequences of it. Another thing, now I want to encourage us to be mindful of our actions and our behaviors, because those things are passed down to our children. So depending on how our heart posture is, we can pass that down to our children, because they're going to be watching and learning. And that's how things get passed down from generation to generation. So always examine your heart before you start making choices, or before you start acting upon things. What is the intention? What are you trying to gain? Is there deceit tied to that, or is it in pure truth, honesty, and love? Another thing that I wrote down was Shem and Japheth. Their actions were to cover the nakedness and shame of Noah, while Ham was exposing it. He went to go tell others instead of trying to cover his father. So, are you covering your family? Or friends? Or are you trying to spread the shame? Okay? Because if you are spreading shame to someone or on someone, what are the intentions of it? Why are you doing it? Where's your heart? What does God know about you to where you have to be placed in a test or a situation that could either promote you, or it could basically remove all of the good that you have worked hard for? So you could either be promoted or demoted. So keep these things in mind. Always ask yourself, when you're in the space of unfamiliar territory and you're not quite sure where the hardship or why it's coming, ask yourself, what does God know about me in this situation? Because 9 times out of 10, there is a link between why you're there, and he wants to reveal something to you to give you an opportunity to grab hold of the promises that he has for you. I hope that you enjoyed this series. I really enjoy putting my love into it and putting my time into it. And I hope that it helps you with perspective. And I hope that you're able to gain wisdom and carry it on and spread it to others in your lives.